All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming in on this Thursday evening. I know it was kind of short notice because we had planned for State Farm to come in on Friday, but I got an email from our wonderful folks at Cigna, Caitlin and Matt over here, and they just wanted to give us some insight on what they do over at Cigna and what potential opportunities they have to offer us. So if you just give the stage over to them, and there you go.
All right, great. Well, it's nice to meet you guys. Excited to be here. I'm Caitlin. I've been working at Cigna for, I think, 6.5 years now, which is crazy. I started in our Connecticut office, which we'll dive into all the offices that we have available and positions and that sort of thing. But what we're going to be talking about is our program called TechDP, and it stands for Technology Early Career Development Program. And it's meant for people like you that are, coming right outside of college, or maybe you graduated in the last couple of years and you're looking for a change. We have all sorts of different rotations. I started out working as a quality analyst on a dashboard we were building in my first rotation, and I thought, this is fun, but I want to try something else. Then I started working with Tableau and building dashboards there, doing operational readiness and business and analysis work, and again, more quality analysis. And then for my third rotation in the TechDP, I made a move. I moved to our Portland, Oregon office, where it's a little bit more technical, and I became a product owner there. And right now, I'm a product owner on a team that's building a real-time data pipeline. So we work a lot with Apache Spark, we build Scala apps, all sorts of fun stuff there. And that's where I am today. And then off the side of my desk, I come to NAU every year and recruit. We had been recruiting for the last couple of years at the Frankie College in IS. And then we recently saw that there was a brand new school with you guys in informatics and cyber systems. So we really wanted to meet with the ACM club, and we met with that director, James Palmer, and next year we're going to be coming to your career fair, because I heard it was last week, so I missed it. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
My name's Matthew. I actually just graduated from NAU in May over at Frankie, graduated with Information Systems and a certificate in Enterprise Systems. I'm currently a Java developer doing some application development, working on our new broker enrollment portal. So I'm working on kind of the APIs, the middleware, stuff like that. In terms of my TechDP work, I'm doing some recruiting. That's why I'm here this week. I'm also involved in our innovations committee, setting up our 2018 TechDP Codeathon, and then also doing our round 2 day, which is part of our interview process.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you also work in Portland?
No, I'm actually based in the Denver office. Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to talk about today, first I'm going to give you just like a general overview of Cigna, what it is, get your feet wet there, and then Matthew's going to jump into talking about our leadership development programs, specifically the TechDP. And then we'll have time for Q&A. All right. Oh, nice transition. Okay, so you might think of Cigna, or you might never think of it. When I was in college, I had never heard of Cigna. I'm originally from Pittsburgh. I see your Steelers gear, and I love it. It's awesome. Very proud. So yeah, we are a health insurance company, but we're also a lot more than that. We consider ourselves a health services company because we do offer more than insurance. We offer a wide range of health-related products and programs that we sell not only in the US, but across the globe. And I'll show you some of those locations. All right. Oh, wait, let me point out David Cordani. So if you see right here in the middle, once the picture comes up again, or maybe it'll just never happen again, we have a very active CEO. He's a pretty cool guy. His name's David Cordani. And besides being our CEO, he also just casually runs triathlons and does all this stuff. So even like our leadership, health is really important to them, and they're pretty involved. Okay. Oh. Here we go. Oh, it just won't load. Interesting. It's a weird transition too. Cool. All right, so Cigna, just some hard facts here. The roots of Cigna, it's existed for over 225 years in Connecticut. It started out as two smaller companies who then later merged together in the 80s. And ever since that merge, we've been expanding across the globe, going into new markets, into new countries. We have more than 40,000 employees all over the world in 30 different countries, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there. And down at the bottom, you can see we're ranked 79 on the Fortune 500 list, so pretty cool place to work. And 40 billion in revenue, but that gets into finance and stuff, and I don't know much. All right. So Cigna's mission is improving the lives and health and well-being and sense of security of our customers. And we do that by offering what I was mentioning before, like a wide range of like health and other type of products and services. So first you would think like normal health benefits, like medical, dental, vision, even behavioral products, because behavioral health is very important. We also have things like group disability, we have accidental injury, we have critical illness coverage, all sorts of things, and then other supplemental types of insurance there. And we offer these, we can reach our customers in various ways, either directly through the marketplace, or if your employer, you could get your benefits through there. We also work with brokers in creating and developing new unique programs that will help our customers. And then we also sometimes we end up partnering with like financial institutions abroad, because that's a good way to get into companies, to get into new countries via making joint ventures or partnerships, stuff like that. And so this is, can you see it? Is it so light?
No,
Oh, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
All right, looks a little darker.
I don't know.
So this gives you a look at like what countries we're in currently. You can see that our headquarters is in Bloomfield, Connecticut. We also have a European one in Belgium, in Antwerp, and our Asian headquarters is in Hong Kong.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so over the last several years, we've been making all sorts of acquisitions, partnerships, some of those joint ventures. To give you an example, for instance, we have TTK in India, we have Finansbank in Turkey, China Merchants Bank in China, and every year we're either staying in those markets and expanding our products, or just expanding into new countries and trying to get our foot in the door. So we're very global, and that kind of plays into what opportunities we have available in the TechDP too. Okay. One of the things about Cigna, it's really not just about us. Charity work and philanthropy is very important to us. No matter what office you're in, you're always going to see either people raising money for cancer research, raising money for food for children in third worlds. We host like marathons in Disney every year, where if you work for the company, you get discounts, that sort of thing. We also, the TechDP, in many locations, we give them a chance to create the charity golf outings. So that's something that used to just be in Connecticut. Now it's like in Denver and Philly, and I think it's like in all sorts of things. So that gives some of our associates that little project management type of experience, if that's what you're looking for. And then I think you set up this video.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that. Let's see if it works. I don't get sound. Oh, was it? Of course. Classic presentation.
Yeah, like I tested it before. Alright.
Okay, yeah, we can skip that,
Oh,
but
there
it's
it is.
it's on YouTube. We could probably send you the link if you're interested in seeing it, but I think it probably talks about some of like how we serve veterans, and it's like a really important population to us for hiring. Okay. Let's skip this. So what about working at Cigna? I mean, I think it's a pretty great place. Like I've said, I've been there 6.5 years. I've been to many offices across the US and even a couple in Europe. But just a couple of quick facts. We're recognized as being flexible, with remote careers. I work remote a lot of the time. We have all sorts of people, like our own like employee interest groups of just virtual workers coming together to meet each other. So it's becoming more and more popular, and like especially in IT, like we're okay with that. And ranked number 11 on happiest companies to work for, so we're pretty proud of that. You can see a couple of other awards, so it's a fun place. And then diversity is also really important to us at Cigna, because if you have just like a homogenous group, you have homogenous ideas, So with our recruiting, with our hiring, we want to attract and retain a diverse, population of employees, because with that you get diverse ideas and diverse solutions to customers' needs. So it's pretty important to us. And then if you work for the company, there's also those certain resource groups you could join if you're interested. I think we have a slide on that. Yeah. So we call them CRGs, they're colleague resource groups, and you can see that they fit a variety of interests, like virtual is the one I was talking about before for remote, LGBT, Asian, South Asian, African American, and even multi-generational, which is just basically anyone can join if you want to connect more people at different age groups, that sort of thing. So I asked, would you want to work with us? Well, first of all, we have really competitive compensation. A lot of work-life balance, like for instance, what I said before, sometimes, I'm from Pittsburgh, so when it's around the holidays, I like to go back for a couple of weeks, work remotely. It's pretty good. We're flexible about like if you have appointments. I mean, if I have doctor's appointments or anything, I just go. It's not like you have to like take time off or anything like that. You just say, hey, I'll be back, make it up some other time. Obviously paid vacation, and also on top of that, work holidays. So those are even two separate things. 401k contribution, that's normal. Don't work without that. Tuition reimbursement, that one's my favorite. For instance, one of our other NAU alumni, his name was Johnny Walker, graduated a couple years ago. If you're familiar with him, he was in Frankie. Do you know him? You have a quizzical look.
I know the alcohol.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. He really pushes going by Johnny Walker,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Like, okay, all right. We'll let you have that. But he's actually my co-manager for recruiting at NAU. And he decided he was really interested in cybersecurity, so now he's going for like a 2-year master's. Yeah, so it's like, it's whatever you want, you get reimbursed. I think it's great, and it doesn't require that you stay with the company any length of time, so that's an added bonus. It's not like, we'll reimburse you, but you have to stay for 5 years. So that's pretty great. Oh, we also have paid time off for volunteering. So when I was saying before about how charity work is really important to us, each employee gets about 8 hours a year to just do whatever they want. And that's outside of work. That's, different from volunteering with charity inside, the building or one of our own special events. That could be like you just going to a soup kitchen on your own time or just doing whatever you'd like, which I think is pretty great. Casual culture, sure. Yeah, in the Portland office, people just wear jeans and hoodies. That's what we look like. Maybe in the Connecticut one, it's a little bit more.
Yeah, the Connecticut office is a little bit more strict, but in the Denver office, jeans.
You look like this.
Yeah.
There you go. Wellness programs. It is a health services company, so we offer a lot of services to you. Like the behavioral health, or we have coaching one-on-one where you can speak to a nurse to do, all sorts of things, lose weight, or maybe you're worried about diabetes or literally anything, but we offer that all to our employees. Discounts on gym memberships, the whole shebang as far as it comes to health. All right, so that's the overview of the Cigna stuff. So now Matthew is going to talk a little bit more about the Tech DP program.
Yeah, so now the interesting stuff.
Yeah, wait, huh? Yeah, so I'll just move over here.
Okay. So just a quick little breakdown of what the Tech DP is. It's a 3 to 3.5 year program, and it allows you, or it's built to develop you as an IT professional. Now, when you hear IT, you usually think of someone who's sitting at a help desk, like, hey, how do I reset my password or whatever. But it's the complete opposite. So I work as an application developer, so I'm pretty technical. I work with Java. We have a lot of different roles available. Those will be on a couple slides later. But basically, it's 3 to 3.5 years, and you get to switch your roles up to 3 times, so your role typically lasts 12 to 14 months. And then every year, you get to talk with 3 different managers, pick your top role, so it's really flexible in that aspect. The Tech DP also allows you to build your network, so there's a lot of professionals who are involved with you. We specifically have a program, a mentorship program, where you're supposed to have, and it's required to have 1 mentor. It's suggested that you have more than 1 mentor, but you're going to have at least 1 mentor to help develop your technical skills. We also have a lot of different opportunities. So besides working on what we call your role work, so 80% of your time is dedicated to what you do for your current role, 20% is dedicated to giving back to the program. So what I'm doing is I'm involved with recruiting. There's also the innovations committee, so you can help develop for VR. You can help develop for our TechDP homepage, so front end or back end. We also have some, I think, augmented reality work that we're starting. There's a lot of opportunities, and I can talk to you a little bit more about that after the presentation. It's also a really good safe place to fail. So I kind of think of it as a college-type atmosphere. You mostly have recent college graduates in the program, so everyone's pretty young, and you're given challenging tasks, but don't be afraid to fail. Most of us learn from our failures. And then this is a developmental program. We do have specific leadership programs after the TechDP, but this one is specifically for developing you as an IT professional. So kind of a little bit of a breakdown. I assume that these two would apply to most everyone in here. So you're split up into what we call classes or cohorts. I'm part of the TechDP class of 2021. They range between 60 and 70 employees. Like I said, 3 to 3.5 years, and then the internship is 12 weeks. The internship is pretty similar to the full-time associate, where 80% of your time is dedicated to role work. But instead of giving back to TechDP, you're given an internship project that you work on for the duration of the 12 weeks. And at the end of the 12 weeks, you present your project to the CIO and a whole bunch of other leaders in Cigna. Start date is pretty flexible, January, July, so if you graduate in December, you can start immediately in January. And then the internship starts in May. So some of the opportunities, so we have multiple locations. Domestically, corporate headquarters is in Connecticut. We have offices in Philly, Nashville, Tennessee, Minnesota, Portland, Oregon, Denver, Colorado, and I think that's it, right?
I think that is. I mean, we expand every year. I mean, even just a couple of years when I started, there wasn't a Tennessee, there wasn't a Portland, so we just keep crawling out west.
Yeah, hopefully California soon.
Woo.
And then we also have international opportunities. So these tend to change every year based on the business demand and where Cigna's going. But some of the previous ones were Glasgow, Scotland, and Antwerp, Belgium. And then we also have areas of focus opportunities, which is the next slide. So these kind of allow you to dive a little bit deeper into specific areas if you're interested in. So instead of rotating through different positions in Cigna, like becoming a project manager or a scrum master, you can specifically be in security or work in agile, analytics, networking, or the digital space. And then each area of focus is assigned an executive sponsor. So these sponsors kind of help create the curriculum for what you're going to be doing. And the curriculums have training opportunities. So recently, I just received an email from the TechDP. We're pairing with LinkedIn. So we're going to have access to their technical trainings, and that's kind of something that you can do on the side as part of your TechDP work. So it's kind of the breakdown of how many associates we have in each position. As you can see, Connecticut is our biggest one, followed by Pennsylvania and Colorado. Tennessee, Minnesota, and Oregon are the smaller sites, so we don't typically recommend those for your first rotation, but you can rotate to those after you're with Cigna for about a year. Let's get that one. And then this is just another slide on what I talked about. So these are the committees that we have, so communications, engagement, development, innovations, onboarding, and recruiting. Yeah, I talked about those, and then summer intern innovations project. So these are kind of some of the resources that you have to kind of build yourself as an IT professional besides the specific technical traits. So we give you mentors, ITLP associates. Do you know what ITLP stands for?
That's another leadership development program for people that have probably been at Cigna for like at least 6-ish years. So just more advanced IT professionals, and so we can leverage them.
Yeah, and then you also have access to the TechDP alumni, which will help mentor you. And then senior leaders and managers and the program office, which kind of helps run the whole TechDP. So these are our full-time opportunities. Application developer, that's what I do. Infrastructure engineer, network and quality engineer. And then business systems analyst, project manager. Those are more of the less technical roles. And then information protection and architecture specialists.
And there's definitely more than that. Like, for instance, in that one area of focus, you saw agile. So if you came in, you could, eventually become a scrum master if that interests you. Or I'm technically a product owner, not a product manager. So there's a ton you can choose from.
Yeah.
Would all of these fall under the tech DP, like you would get this after it, or this would be like
This
while,
during.
while
Yeah.
you're doing
Yeah.
it? So you are so you're an employee at the same time you're also getting mentored on how to be a better professional at what you're
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah, so the tech DP, think of it as like a little umbrella in
Okay.
Cigna, like a little kind of, I guess, bubble.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are all roles that you hold within Tech DP. Tech DP is just a program to help develop people. So
Cool.
yeah, you're still holding like the real roles and stuff. It's just helping you develop. Yeah.
And you are a real employee. It's not like one of those programs where you join and then like hopefully you can
Get a
post
job.
out into something. It's like you work here. And yeah, I've never heard of someone not being able to find a position at the end of the program. It's
Yeah, there's really
That's
no,
super cool.
there's really no like, I'm not gonna find a position after you just
Right.
like kind of like upgraded or kind of pushed into something higher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so if you guys are interested in applying, you can visit cigna.com/careers. Those are the codes if you want to search for them.
yeah, it's also on Handshake. I don't know if you could like Google or not Google, but on Handshake, search up Cigna. I haven't seen it from like the student's point of view, but I have 2 reps up there with those numbers on them.
Yeah, so just search Tech DP, and then you'll see the full-time internship opportunities that you can apply through there.
We'll also post these on social media, so
All right.
you can also look on there for that.
Yeah, and I also have business cards in the back. If you want to grab that, want to ask me any questions, just feel free to email me anytime. And I can also give you those codes. So.
Yeah, any questions? In the back?
How do you like your job?
I love it so far. I think the biggest challenge is just transitioning from school to work. So you have to get used to, I work 7 to 3, but it is pretty flexible. So my 7 a.m. meeting, I'll just roll out of bed, open up my laptop and take it in bed.
Do you usually like drive in a couple hours?
Yeah, so I'll work, wait for the traffic to die down. But yeah, the work is really challenging. I have a great manager. I meet with him daily just to go over what I've been doing for the day. He helps me with any roadblocks I have. And then since you're in the Tech DP, you can really reach out to anyone. If someone hears that you're in the Tech DP, they're always willing to help you out.
Yeah, and I think those hours are more unique to the Denver office. It seems like everyone there
Yeah,
kinda
so
works
Denver
that.
tends to work a little bit earlier just because we work with a lot of people in India and Poland and on the East Coast as well.
And in Portland, I wake up at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So would you say like it makes you more comfortable the fact that you have like a giant community of people within this Tech DP who are all like willing to help one another rather than
Oh,
just being
definitely.
like thrown into it and be just that people like if you fail you're fired type of thing anyway, so get going.
I mean, personally, I felt that way. It almost felt like an extension of college, to be honest.
That's what it appears
Yeah,
to be.
you're like, oh, we're all new here together and starting at the same time. And you're all onboarded at the same time, too. There's like it changes some years, but it's usually 2 weeks or 3 weeks where you all go to Connecticut together.
They call it the boot camp.
Yeah, in the boot camp. So
Seems awesome.
yeah, you become friends, and it's great. And then I have friends all over the U.S. and you can visit that office and just like crash with them. And
Mhm.
it did it made me feel a lot more comfortable like starting work in the professional world when I started long ago.
What part of Connecticut is that? Where's
Hartford.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, like slightly outside, it's like Bloomfield,
Okay.
but like it is, yeah. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, but it's like 5 minutes drive from Hartford.
Gotcha. It's a very beautiful place.
Yeah.
So 11th happiest company to work at. How did they come up with that number?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just read the slides, okay?
It seems,
I
it
don't
seems
know.
like it would be a happy place to work.
I'm sure there's some type of corporate survey,
Yeah.
something like that.
So you had a slide that talked about where people are cited,
Mhm.
and we kind of breezed through it. I didn't get to see whether
Oh,
that was
sure.
specific to people who are doing internship stuff, or like if I were to engage in one of these positions, where would I go most likely?
You get to pick mostly. So when we do the interview process, we say like, what are your top 3 most interested locations, that sort of thing.
And it also depends on what role you want to take. So we'll have our roles listed, and then those roles are specific to certain locations. I'm not sure for interns, but For full-time, you are allowed to work remotely, so one of my coworkers, he's based in Denver, but his whole team is in Connecticut, so you have that flexibility as well.
How many applications do you get per year for the summer internship
Oh, from NAU or just like total?
in total?
Let's see, I've been checking Taleo. I've seen about like 650 come through, but I bet most of those are full-time. Probably like 300 maybe, something like that, maybe even less.
Hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah.
And maybe you said it, but I missed it. Is it a paid internship? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What is
Um,
it paid by chance for the summer?
For the when I did it years ago. I was an intern 2011. And back then it was like $20 an hour. But they'll also let's see, if you go to one of these locations, like all your housing is paid for, and they'll fly you out there and stuff. So you don't like worry about that sort of thing.
Yeah, so housing paid for and like
This one happens.
So it might be more. I bet it's more now. If it was
yeah,
that
probably like
back then.
22, 23.
Probably more.
So it's by the hour instead of like, hey, you work all summer, then here's a lump sum.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's by the hour. I think you get paid every 2 weeks. Everything.
Cool stuff. 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
30.
Full-time. Yeah.
You said housing is paid for. Where would you stay if you're doing the internship?
So I know in Denver, I don't know the specific places. They usually stick you into an apartment complex that's pretty close to work. In Denver, there was one that was maybe a 5-minute drive from the office.
Yeah, they're always usually pretty close, and
Yeah.
they'll be like with other interns and stuff.
Yeah.
For tuition reimbursement, what does that cover? Is it just if you want to go further into computer science, or if I want to get like a pilot's ground license?
Probably not the pilot's one, but like anything that's even slightly related to like analytics or computer science. It could be infrastructure, like cybersecurity. So pretty much, it's pretty broad.
Yeah, so like if you want to do an MBA, for example,
Yeah, or that too.
that's like pretty basic, but then Cigna maybe will cover it, maybe not. But then if you get a emphasis like in IT management, then they'll be more than happy to cover that. So yeah, it's something that'll, I guess, benefit the company in the position that you're in or looking to go into.
Yeah, and that includes like certificates as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like a 2-year MBA or something. It's, you know, any type of like advancement in education, really.
Let's be a doctor.
I want to be a doctor, yeah. Good for that. Well, that'd be nice. Any other questions?
Is there a limit to how much that pays for?
I think it's like $8,000 a semester or something.
It might be 12.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
In a,
Okay.
Yeah, but what people usually do is it's like a 12,000 a semester, and then they just expand how long it takes them for them to finish, so that Cigna covers it. So yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in that as well.
Yeah, you mentioned certs with the tuition reimbursement. So they would cover if you like wanted to get a few security certs under your
Yeah.
belt. that'd be-
Yeah, definitely.
Even in the areas of focus, they'll do that. But even if you weren't in an area of focus, so we showed a couple of those. You don't necessarily have to pick one of those areas. You could just decide not to do that, and you could do like a security rotation and like one in analytics and that sort of thing. But yeah, you can any type of advancement.
What does your day as an intern look like?
Oh, that's so hard to answer because it really depends on your position. So you really are integrated with like a real team. It's not like just you and your intern friends like, hey. So depending on your role, whether you're developing or project management, like you're working on real projects. And when we say like 80-20, it's not like you have to do like 80% of my day is this and then an hour has to be tech DP. It's like 80-20 within
Overall.
the week or within a couple of weeks. So some weeks might be like heavy just role work. Other weeks could be lighter and you could just do more tech DP related stuff. But it will be like you're working in the real world.
Yeah, so right now I'm working with an intern. He's part of my team. So he's actually an on-campus intern, so his hours are a little bit different. So he's working like 25 hours a week. So he would work the mornings and then the nights. But we're working on a project together. So yeah, he's doing pretty much what the full-time employee would do.
seems very flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on-campus internships, when did those start and end?
Those ones are actually just for ECSU in Yukon.
Never mind.
If a person were to already be working for the company for some long period of time, and if that person would like to be transferred to another country, one of the satellite companies in, I don't know, Belgium or China, is it a requirement for that person in particular to be able to already speak the language?
I guess it would depend on the office. Like in the Belgian office, they mostly speak a lot of English. I don't think that's the case for things probably like in like Hong Kong or something like that. But none of our people that go abroad, there's no requirement to know the language, so we make sure that the office speaks English first before sending like a tech DP out there and being like, whoops.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
So this is a really general question, and I'm sorry if I missed this early in the presentation. It was late. My dad worked for Cigna a long time ago, and it was
Oh,
an
cool.
insurance company. And now Cigna is a health services company.
That's what they say.
What does that transition mean? What does that mean for where Cigna is and where Cigna is going?
I think before it was just strictly health insurance,
Yep.
but now we just offer a wider range of products and services. Like some companies, they don't need health insurance, like they have their own, but they need someone to administer it.
Yep.
Or some companies, they just want something for their expats, where they get, special discounts and that sort of thing. We also have other digital apps that we build. So some of our apps, so I'll give you an example. Sometimes we get money from other corporations that are our client. For instance, JPMC. They have like an innovation budget, and they gave that to us to develop an app. And what that app would do was present you with opportunities to get healthier based on some of your claim data. Like if you're going to the ER, we could present you an opportunity like, hey, we saw you went to the ER. What if we save you money if you went to like an outpatient type of situation? So it just started as like this one little idea, and it grew into like this huge app that we now offer to like all of our clients. And so it just kind of builds like that. We're building, we also have another app where you can hook up your Fitbit or any type of those apps, and you log what you're doing, and you get incentives, which is basically you get money back into your paycheck. So products and services like that, rather than just strictly like here, health insurance.
Cool.
Sweet.
What do the projects you're working on look like?
You wanna talk about it?
Yeah, so
Sorry.
yeah, so like I'm brand new, kind of getting thrown into like the middle of a 2-year project. So the biggest thing for me is just learning what's going on. So I guess my day to day would be like a 7 a.m. stand-up call, just to make sure everyone's on task, and then you'd have maybe like a sprint planning call. So we work in Agile, if you guys are familiar with that. We'll go through like the user stories for the next sprint, and then I'll usually spend some time just coding, working on maybe like password validation was one of the most recent stories I did, or like broker retrieval, so getting all their information, make sure that their session is still cached. But yeah, it kind of depends on what you're working on. If you have major planning sessions coming up, the days can really vary.
And then some of the projects I've worked on, I was recently on a web app that was for nurses. So basically, we would present so these nurses, they don't work for Cigna, they work in like the provider setting, and we would present to them like queues of patients who are having some kind of like health issue at the moment. Maybe they were just discharged from the hospital, maybe we saw based on some algorithm that their health risk is high. And so we would present that so that they could then call those patients and bring them back into their office and get them back on track with their health. So my team was building that web app. And then right now I'm on a big data team more in the back end, and we actually funnel data to that other app I was just talking about, the one that presents opportunities to people that says like, you've done this, or we know this about you, and this could save you money, or this could make you healthier, or did you know that this product exists that you can leverage? And so my whole entire team is just Scala developers right now, so, yeah.
If we were to get accepted to one of these internships, where would we be stationed at?
I think it's the same thing. You get to pick your top 3 of like, you see them right up here, like Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. But if you can see like most of them are in Connecticut because that's the headquarters. It's like 4,000 people work in that building. It's pretty cool, but you can kind of pick, but out of 3. And so whichever you're interested in.
So basically like not in Arizona.
I know.
We used to have offices in Arizona.
Yeah, we do have an office in Phoenix, and I don't know if you live in the Phoenix area, you'll see like different like Cigna provider locations. We still have a big IT presence there, but we don't really have like a tech DP presence there. But hopefully we can do that in the future too. We've had interns there in the past, but they were kind of like off on their own, so we filter them more towards Denver now.
I guess, do you know how exactly it gets determined where you get picked to go if you were to get accepted through the whole internship program? How exactly they delegate who goes where?
Just they'll just look at everyone's top 3, and I don't know if they like manually do it or they just like shove it in the system. And it's like it makes sense for these people to go here because that was their top 1 or 2. They try to get you into your top 1 or 2 the most.
Yeah, and based on what you want to do, so you'll be given some roles, and then you'll choose your top roles. So yeah, if those roles are located in a specific office, you'll most likely go there. Yeah.
By chance, do you guys do any application for electronic medical records, or?
I think we integrate with a lot of electronic medical records. So we do a lot of work with like Allscripts. We have some Epic technology as well, but it really is like more integrating those rather than like building.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier AR and VR.
Mm-hmm.
How is that being implemented?
So for the VR specifically, we're using that for recruiting. So we have like these little pods that you can sit in and put on the VR headset, and then we'll take those to campuses. You can put it on, and it'll be a virtual tour of either. The main one we're working now is Connecticut. So if you're not located in Connecticut, you can put on that VR headset and then take a tour of the building. And then while you take that tour of the building, like you'll have information pop-ups and different stuff like that.
Well, that's the VR. What about the AR?
I'm not sure about the AR. That's like in the works right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, round of applause for one that was
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up. This is like amazing. So many people here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Definitely apply.
I wonder how many people got lost.
Yeah.
So,
Oh no.
that
Yeah.
feels bad.
The best thing to do if you want to apply, do it within like the next week or so, because we try to wrap up recruiting around, I think it's like October 25th is like when we're going to start making, turning things in, and then after you do that round, if you get accepted, you go on, and then they'll bring you to Denver, Connecticut, or wherever to do like a second like in-person thing.
And is that for both the summer internship and full-time?
Yeah, so we just recently started doing the round 2 day for interns.
If you do get accepted for that one, do you have to pay for your flight?
No.
Or-
No. Yeah, Cigna will
Sweet.
cover the flight there, the hotel, and all of that. You go out to a nice dinner with the managers.
Seems
Schmoozing.
Yeah.
free dinner.
Yeah, don't turn down round 2 day. We've had people do that before. We're
Yeah,
like, it's a free
definitely go.
trip.
Definitely go.
Sweet. Well, thank you all.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks for
no
having
problem.
us.
Thank you.
And then you said you had some business cards.
I do, yeah, up back there by the Dr. Pepper, I fanned out some business cards. If you
Okay,
grab one.
fantastic. And you're both on LinkedIn?
Yes.
I am. Oh, I gotta update that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not a good way to contact. Okay. We'll keep it with the email.
Yeah, keep it with the email. I avoid the LinkedIn because there's like so many recruiters on there.
Yeah,
And you're like,
that's
stop,
fine.
like batting them away. Get out. I don't want to talk to you. And find us on Handshake, and we'll be at the career fair. It's in the business school, the Frankie one, but if you stop by, we'll be at a table there. Yeah.
So you're gonna be at the one tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see 2 Cigna tables, so you'll see one that's underwriting. We'll be like kind of closest to that.
Do you know what floor we're on? Are we on the
I think it's the
second
first floor.
Yeah, so the career fair tomorrow, 9 to 2. Is it 9 to 2?
Dr. Steinmacher here, or just, I just call him Igor, and everyone
Igor,
usually just
yeah.
calls him Igor. So call him Igor, and he teaches the, do you want to give the spiel on yourself, or? He teaches the open source software class. He's dealt with open source research for many a years, and he's got himself in a few articles on the internet if you want to look him up. And yeah, he's just an awesome dude, and he's going to show us about Hacktoberfest, which I did announce last meeting if you guys remember. So you get a free t-shirt if you contribute 5 pull requests, and they get merged into the master branch on any
need to be
repo.
merged.
I think they do need to be merged. I read it yesterday, I think. Okay, maybe they don't need to be
Yeah.
merged, which makes this
Yeah, it's
even easier. And you get a free t-shirt at the end of the month if you're like one of the first few. They have like 50,000 t-shirts.
Yeah, just put it here.
I don't know when that. Yeah. They should have some stats when they ran out in like the previous years.
but the previous year, 2017, they gave like 30,000 t-shirts,
Yeah.
and there was no limit at all. So
Yeah. So what we're gonna do
it's
today?
just to make the things will not go crazy. We're not giving like 100,000 t-shirts.
Totally.
So they they just limited it.
What we're gonna do today is Igor's gonna teach you all how to do like a basic pull request on a repo. For those who don't know, this will be a good learning experience because it's something you're gonna have to do in the future. And for those who do know, get your free shirt whenever. And so we're gonna get that free t-shirt today, and I already have mine. It said just from taking his class, and I've already fulfilled my pull request. So give the floor over to Igor, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Tanner. Thank you for inviting me for this nice meeting. It's a bunch of people. I'm pretty impressed. So I'll just touch some small points here. I'll not go too in deep on anything because it's short in time, but I'll try to teach you how to make this pull request thing. So first I'll talk a little bit about Hacktoberfest. So this is a joint thing of GitHub and DigitalOcean. I was talking to Tanner just now. It's like, I don't know what's the goal of this project. If they want people to learn how to contribute or to have more people like putting anything there, I don't know. I'm not sure. The point is that it's running for 5 years, since 2014, I believe. And every year there are more and more people contributing to it. And I think it's a way to put people in touch with GitHub. And what do you need to do? You just need to find a repo, find a repository, find a project that you are interested in, and see if they have any issue, or if you want to fix anything there, or if you want to put anything else there, and place a pull request. What is a pull request? Go ahead.
For newcomers, what is GitHub?
Very good question. GitHub is a forge, so it's a suite where projects host their code, and where people can submit issues or report problems with the product that they're using, and the community hang out together. So GitHub is a kind of a repository for code plus social things plus a place where you can report issues related to the project. So it's a good question. Let's go and see something. So for example, GitHub is a place, one of the places where you can find out there are a lot of things here. Let's see. I don't know if it's Gorilla Mux. So there's this project that I didn't know. It was here in the history. It's Mux. So this is a software project written in Go. And the code is here. So if I want to get this code, compile on my machine, or run the thing in my machine, and just download this code and make it run. So if I want to contribute to it, I download the code, I make my changes, and I submit it back, and my code goes back to the project. So it's a central point where the developers, or non-developers, GitHub is like too broad. There are software projects, books, educational stuff. There are a bunch of things here that people just use because it's a central thing where they can leverage the version system to keep track of their changes. So let's extend a little bit. So let's go here for book. This repo. I want the whole thing. Yeah, it's searching inside the repo. Book. So you can see there is a Rust programming language book here. So I don't know why, but the authors decided to make it available here. I know of some projects that I contributed to, some books that, okay, you write your own chapter and you make it available here. If someone else has some idea on how to change or improve that, they just make it available there. So it's like a central point where you can contribute to work in community on any kind of project, okay? So I don't know if I explained everything that you want, or any of you want to know. I know that there are freshmen here, most probably. So it was a good question.
There's a lot of contributors.
This one? Yeah. Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah. So almost 300 contributors to this book. So I know of many books that are here. So it's a central point for many things. And they even have some education initiatives from GitHub that they give you free accounts with some private repos, and that you can earn minutes of processing time in Amazon Web Services and this kind of thing. So it's a huge thing that you can do different things related to your course, related to anything that you do in your daily life. So, and why is it important here? Why am I teaching this, for example? Because when you go to industry, it's, let's say it's a skill that is required on almost 100% of the places that we work on. Not exactly GitHub, but something close to GitHub.
Some sort of.
Yeah, some sort of suit, at least the Git repository or Mercurial repository you make use. So, but I don't know if you need to go to the point here to go down to understanding how the version control system work at all, because it will take like more time than like half an hour or 1 hour. More on how to contribute and what do I have to do to contribute. So I prepared a small repository here. It is the same thing that I use it in my class. It's under my organization, so I created an organization here called NAU OSS, or NAU Open Source, and I created this project, Git Hands-On, just to show you how things work, okay? So to contribute to a thing like this, we follow a process that they call fork pull request, where fork is you create a copy of the repository, as a copy of everything that is inside there, and that belongs to you, and then you do all the changes that you need on that copy, so you don't mess with the main repository. So to get your change accepted by the main repository, you need to send the things back to this repository. So you push your things there, and this is called a pull request. I don't know why they call pull request if it's a push, but it's a good question that I don't know how to answer. You push your stuff to the other repo, and you wait for them to accept that or to review that and say, okay, you need to change this, this, and that. Okay. So how does it work first? Okay, I have this repo as any other here. For example, you can go to one really simple to contribute, like Torvalds Linux, which is here as well. So here it is. This is the code for the kernel of Linux. Okay, so if you want to contribute to Linux kernel, you are welcome. I don't know if it will be easy enough, or if you'll be end up with your code in the main repo without reading any bad word. So people here are very scary. Yeah. But it's not impossible, okay? So if you want to contribute to Linux, this is a way. I don't know if Steve mentioned that they use pull requests, but as far as I know, like they have a bunch of them here, but they just accepted 300 because I know that they don't use it at all They just grab the commits when they want and put in the repository.
And then they use some as examples and fry them in front of you.
Is there any nice word that I can type here and I will find something interesting?
Something interesting?
Just click on any of these.
No. I don't know. Don't you remember?
The comments and stuff?
Yeah.
I have some comments here if you
But do you know any word that I can show here that it happened?
There are some choice words, but I don't know if you should search them.
Why not? It's here. It's public.
They got the F word in there.
Let's go. No bullshit. Oh.
Oh, wait.
I thought it said by
I thought it said books.
Bull fucking shit.
See, I'm not kidding. Okay.
That's like
it's
minimal.
not because it's a joke. It's because someone really meant to say that. Okay. So they're not really good in receiving people.
Reply to this email directly, or do you like it?
So okay, let's go back to business. So to contribute to some project, I go to the project and I'll go to this button here, which is called fork. I'll create an identical copy of the project with everything, the history and everything. It's not in a snapshot. I'll copy the whole thing, the whole history. And so when I do this, oh, I have one. Let me delete mine. So I can show you. Okay. So I'll go here and I fork. As I have like different organizations under my name and my own account, I will upload to my account. And okay. Why is it taking so long? There's nothing.
It's so small.
So okay. So as you can see, this is the same thing that we had there, but now it's under my username. So I have this repo called Git hands-on under Igor Steinmacher. That is a fork from this repo here. Okay, so if I want to do something, like for example, let's do the easy things.
Wait, Igor,
Yeah.
make sure you're signed into Hacktoberfest.
Oh,
That way it
yeah,
will
I would like to.
update.
Yeah, I am actually.
Is
As
your
you see
progress
here.
already? You're probably
So-
already done, aren't you, Igor?
So if you want to sign to Hacktoberfest, you come here to hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com, and the button here will not be check your progress. It will be, I don't know, start.
Yeah, it'll say start here.
Start something, right?
Yeah, start hacking.
Let's do something like this so we can like walk through everything. I would never open
This is a
Internet
cool-
Explorer. This is a moment.
Yes.
Okay. So here is start hacking. You come here, and it will request you to authenticate on your GitHub account because they want you to read your pull requests, check how many of them did you do, and okay, perfect. I'm here, and if I come back here, the button will have changed. And I don't know how many I have, but I should have one or two because I do pull requests to my own project. So yeah, so I have two pull requests already. This counts from the 1st of October until the 31st of October. So anything that you do in this period, it doesn't matter when you registered. Like if I register today, it will count my pull request that I made like yesterday or Monday or okay. So and then you see how many you have. Yep.
Though I would recommend just to get it done not as quickly as you can, but the faster the better with it, just in case for some reason they do run out of t-shirts. I don't know. I didn't do it last year, so I don't know any of the fuss about any of that. But I just did mine quickly.
Yeah, this is the graphic that they have, like, it's because of the growth year after year.
Oh, so
they are
like
predicting
50, so like 2017 it didn't reach 30,000?
30,000 something, right?
Tanner, when you complete it, does it automatically ask you about the t-shirt? Because Or once you get 5, because it's just as
I
you
think it's
complete
just
it,
at the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
I
they'll
think-
announce
Yeah,
it.
last year and the other years it was like this, so I don't know this year, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
a lot of
because
people
of
finish
this
it.
limit, they will start asking you your physical address and
Maybe a lot of people finish it and then they don't put their address in. So
Or
like-
is it already done? Because it looks like it says 50,000. Like,
No, that was
No.
there on day one. I checked it on day one.
Yeah.
That was
okay, I was gonna say, like, well, it's over. No t-shirt.
no, I don't believe so. They would not allow you like to see your like
I think they
your
would just
people
close it
request
and be
away
like, goodbye.
from T-shirt. They would say like, okay, it's over.
Try again next year.
Yeah. So okay, so
Now you're all set up.
coming back. So the repo is under my name now. So anything that I change now will not mess with the main repo. I can do anything. I can delete everything here that will have no impact back on the project. Okay, this is my project now. And as it's open source, under some license, and I cloned it, it's mine. I just need to see what are the implications of the license, but it's mine. I have the right to redistribute, to change, to do whatever I want. So this is what freedom here is about. So an easy way, if you want to change any documentation or fix any typo or add some text or anything like this, you don't need exactly to code. So you can do it, everything, using GitHub interface. So for example, I'll change this readme.md. I open the file and I'll edit the file and okay. So I changed this and I can add a message here. And I will commit the changes. Commit the changes mean that I will update the file in the repository that I'm working on. In this case, I'm working on this repository that's mine, local repository on GitHub, okay? So if I look at my Git hands-on project, and I look at my file here, this is the file that I just edited. So this is the file that I worked on, and it added my file here, my line here. But if I come back to the original project, it's not here, okay? So what do I do now? The next step is, as soon as I have some change, as soon as my repository is different from the main repository, it will show me this button here, new pull request. So when I click here, what he will do is ask me from which repository to which repository do I want to make my my pull request. So in this case, I'm coming from the head, which is the first position, the last change I have in my repository, Igor Steinmacher / Git hands-on. I will be submitting my pull request to the NAU ACM Git hands-on. So if this is what I want to do, I'll just come here and ask him to create a pull request. So I can add like a different message here or something here explaining what I'm doing if I'm contributing to a project that I don't know the owner. So this is just a test. And we'll test something that if you want. Create pull request, and then nothing here. If I go to my project, let's say my project here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here.
Yeah, so now did it update on Hacktoberfest?
Yeah. Nothing here, okay, on my project. But if I go to the main project, the one that I forked from, there will be one pull request. Someone sent something to this project, and I go here, I try to see what is there. Let's see if it updated here.
Yep.
Here we go.
So it doesn't even have to get accepted.
No.
Go to your own project.
So
Exactly what I did 5 times. Just
yeah, that's what I was mentioning.
Yeah,
like it's crazy.
That is
I don't
weird.
know.
Like, do they check it at the?
I don't think they check anything.
Well, so
That's why I asked. I don't know. I don't know what's the goal of this. If it's like putting people in touch with GitHub to learn the process,
Yeah, I get it.
or
Yeah, you have to at least learn to do a pull request.
yeah.
I guess that's like.
So do you know that they, in the documentation for Hacktoberfest, they talk about how quality is important?
Yeah.
And they actually get down into the details enough to say that like one minor copy edit pull request is totally reasonable.
Mhm.
But if all 5 of your pull requests were like add a comma, add a comma, add a comma, it probably wouldn't count. So there may actually be a review process that's in. I know they're filtering out bot-based PRs, and I think they may be trying to filter like other low-quality PRs.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because I usually do my 5 requests. This is the first year that I'm doing like 3
Did
just
you
for
get
the
a free
classes.
T-shirt last year?
Yes.
What did it look like?
Last year it
Like,
was
I'm curious. Where next
not
class?
that nice. It was a blue one with. I don't
But a free
remember.
shirt's a free shirt.
With some orange stuff only. Yeah. Yeah, this year it seems that to be purple. Don't know why. So yeah, I didn't know about this rule. Let's see. There is something about quantity is good, but I didn't read that.
Quality doesn't matter.
Where is that?
It's on this, yeah, right there. It's in the middle.
Yeah.
When they
Quantity is
scroll down a
found,
bit.
quality is key. So I don't know if they will like check all the pull requests, but there should be a case that okay, this guy's just doing like one line added per pull request, so let's see what's there. So maybe yeah, but I don't know. So okay, this is here. So the owner of the project or any member of the project can come here and review this pull request and send something. Please fix this, and that. And there is another round then of reviews. You update your code. You update the pull request. And there can be many rounds of comings and goes. And then finally they can merge your pull request. And when they merge the pull request, we'll have the code integrated here in the main repository. Okay, so it's quite easy, I'd say. What I have to say is I had 1 year that I had a group of students working with me in my previous university, and what they did, they rewrote all the documentation for one project that we had in the university, and everybody got their T-shirts. It was a huge work, like actually, so it's like a month work on rewriting documentation. So everything based on documentation, it was okay. So if you don't have code skills, it's not a problem. As I mentioned, there are books here. They have like recipe books. So if you're good on cooking, you can find one of these projects and go and update it. Because as I mentioned, for me, the goal is to have people in contact with the process of how to place a pull request here, how to make a pull request. What's the process of contributing to an open source project? Which I think is a good goal, in fact. So I don't know if you have any questions. If you want me to go through anything else, it would be a pleasure for me. Yeah.
I actually just wanted to throw one other thing out there. If you do have some code skills, like serious or not, but you don't have a project you want to contribute to or that you're already working on, when you sign up for Hacktoberfest, there's like a whole laundry list of projects, and you can look at them based on language. So if you only code in Python, you can look at Python projects, and if you only write HTML, you can look at projects with HTML documentation.
Yes.
Right? So it's pretty easy to find something real in the world that you might be able to help out with. And that's a really neat way to start engaging with this stuff.
Yeah, they ask project owners to use this label Hacktoberfest so they can list everything in a single page. So if you go to the Hacktoberfest, they have it in this list, and you can like just click here, and it'll be thousands of issues, like 21,000 issues open here with the tag. So, and you can filter by language and many other things. And in addition to that, I don't know if I can send you something and you share with them.
Yeah.
These guys that had been in our class this morning, we have like 5 or 6 open source projects or more actually. Toby has a lot. Open source projects from NAU faculties. So if you really want to be in touch with coding and you think that, okay, it would be a good experience, but I need some support, I believe that they will be more than happy to support you doing your pull requests if you're contributing to their project. So I can send Tanner the list of the projects. I will have on the GitHub page.
Yeah, we could
Yeah,
post
just
the
yeah.
GitHub page link.
So for example, there is the Chime 2 that they really need
Which is
documentation.
awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome it's an awesome project. They have like hundreds of contributors out there, and the project is from an NAU faculty. So it's a great opportunity to contribute, even with your community and your faculty members here. Okay.
And if anybody here has questions about Chime 2 and wants to work on documentation stuff, that's my part-time student job. So come say hi and we can talk about it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know that you have a lot of work to do there.
So,
Yeah, Greg just mentioned this morning.
It did seem like a really interesting project that they
Yeah.
done.
And there
They
are
presented it really well.
bioinformatics people, they have a lot of things to do on NASA related projects. So there is one extra thing. Why do I think contributing to open source using GitHub is a nice thing? Because when I had this experience when I was on the other side of the table, and I see now that some companies, they ask you to see your GitHub profile if you have something. So if you contribute to something really important, this can be like an initial portfolio or an initial resume, like, oh, do you have experience? Yes, I do. Look, I contributed to this NASA project or to this like Ruby on Rails project. So what skills do you have? I'm very good in AngularJS. Okay, what have you done in Angular? Open your GitHub page and here it is. This is me. Okay, so way easier than convincing someone that, okay, I made that project at school, and it's way easier to convince people. Even if it's a project that it's from a course, you put it there and you're giving your face like, okay, it's here. I did that. If it's good enough, you show people like, okay, I was responsible for this.
It's definitely something that I wish I would have done more, like over the summers when I would just be playing like video games and not really doing much productive. And I'd be like, oh, I'll just come up with like a project and I'll work on it over the summer type of thing. When there's just already existing projects waiting here, waiting for people who are interested just to go shoot their shot pretty much and try to contribute to one of their projects. I wish it would have been very beneficial, I feel.
And really, there are all tasks for all the levels. For a really beginner, there will be something for you to do. If you like a challenge, there will be something for you to do. So it's a nice learning experience as well. So, oh, in Portuguese, something in Portuguese here. It's weird. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Igor.
Thank you. And I know that's like shot in the dark, but if you want to give my contact to everybody, like make it available.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have any questions or if they need help on the contribution process, you can contact me. Okay. my students will tell you that I'm pretty responsive. So I'm not telling it just because. Okay, I'll just answer you and help you. Okay, sometimes they get scared that I'm answering like Slack messages at 1 a.m. I do. Okay. If there's one thing that I like to do is to coach people and to mentor people. So feel free to contact me. Thank you.
And then another thing with this, I know it's getting like late, but if you guys just want to hang out for like 10 minutes, maybe just do one pull request, and then next meeting or in your free time, which would be very simple, just get the rest out of the way, and hopefully by like mid-October at that meeting or whatever, we can come in here and like everyone can be done, and hopefully we all can get a free t-shirt, because free t-shirt.
Dan, I got an idea.
What's up?
Is there anybody in the room who hasn't created a PR before, who would like to do that, like,
Or if you don't have a GitHub.
now on screen, like make a GitHub account and then make a PR?
Oh, that's a really good idea. That's like a really, really good idea. Has anyone here not made a GitHub account and not opened their own repository?
Nice.
Does anyone want to volunteer as tribute to come up to the computer
Yeah,
and
'cause
teach
I don't have
everyone
one.
else by your own failures
Okay.
how to get things set up?
Let's do this.
I like that a lot. That is a good idea.
Okay.
4 minutes and 40 seconds. Great job. Whenever we
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if he like.
It's going now, it's going now.
I don't know if he understood like.
Okay, username, come on, ideas.
All right. What's your classic video game username?
Oh.
Wait,
Like
never
Xbox?
mind.
No.
Okay.
Like, wait,
what's your name then?
I'm Drew.
But they didn't, and that's a weakness.
Mountain Drew. That would be fun.
Mountain Drew.
Doritos and Mountain Drew. No, kind of make it decently professional if you, unless you want you just have to like provide personal,
Background on open source.
like just big fake name and everything.
Why not? Can it be your real name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone who hasn't made one, Sarah.
So we didn't take
I
any personal.
just made one and I'm adding a recipe. It's a Greek salad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you are.
Make sure you're signed into Hacktoberfest.
Oh.
Okay.
I have a super good salad for this cranberry, super good salad recipe, so I might steal that idea.
Okay, maybe we can start a recipe book
We
here.
should.
Like,
Instagram recipe, but yes, make it your own. Make that the repository.
I'll add everything.
You'll get your T-shirt out of it.
It's popular.
Tuna sandwich.
Bowl of cereal.
What do you mean it's blank?
Cereal plus milk equals tea.
That password is not blank, it is more than 7 characters.
You want for toast?
Avocado toast, first,
Sliced.
toast it. Second, avocado.
Avocado it.
Purchase Wonder Bread.
I got 1 out of 5.
You got one. There you go. Easy life.
But yeah, so
It's a long time I don't drink like soda.
Me too.
I'll be like really crazy
Like
tonight.
there's like 40 sugars in here.
It's a
I
bomb
feel-
of sugar.
I'm feeling it already.
Okay, so do I just say continue now?
See y'all later. There, Julian.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess we'll find out
Okay.
when Anna gives us the grade. That's the determinant.
Nothing else.
That good? Sure.
I'm
I'm a hobbyist and I'm a student. Okay, fine.
Oh, you can't be both. You can't. No.
I can only be
don't have
one
time to
thing.
be both, you know?
What are you insinuating?
One Power Stone at a time.
What's going on?
Do you mean that you can't be students and
You can't be a student and a hobby at the same time.
You're all set. Welcome to Hacktoberfest.
Nope, nothing funny popping up.
There you go.
Java. Yeah.
Java, cooking, coding, learning, and programming. The programming is not the same as the coding. or the
That's his
Java.
entire reason.
Hey.
Just like
You know,
side
that
thing.
Java could be the coffee to go with the cooking. I don't know.
Dude, I'm interested in both.
Rolling, Drew.
Okay, do I
Who needs a guide? We're good.
do repository? Should I start a ACM cookbook repository?
Go for it.
Why don't you contribute to the open source repo that we're
You gotta verify your email.
yeah.
get hands on?
I have to verify my
Yeah, go to my repo there. I think it's the easiest way.
See, but this way he's gotta actually find something.
Where is
I think
my-
Yeah.
Is he gonna have to
You should
A real
contribute-
thing, yeah.
You should contribute a recipe to the NAU OSS Get Hands-On repo.
Where is that?
See that search bar?
This is good.
It'll be the first pull request that's been denied
NAU,
in that
yeah.
repo.
Okay. New pull request?
No, then you
Just
have
right
to
away.
create a fork.
I'm done with it.
Top right.
Upright.
Yep.
Verify your key.
You're gonna go to Joseph's email.
No!
Can we go ahead and cut the recording, by the way?
No.